Boomer detected.
Another one.
I'm champion! Get shit on! Get down, bitch!
Who's your daddy?
Hello,
Plum here, g'day champions, how's it going? And welcome back to another Division 2 build video. So a couple of weeks back, I posted that first little clip on YouTube and TikTok. It was just a little short clip of a few kills in the Dark Zone with a build that had zero expertise. And a lot of people really seemed to love it and wanted to know what the build was. To be honest, I'm not surprised. This build shreds. It used to be one of my favorites to run in the Dark Zone. I was, however, on an alt character and I literally just slapped stuff together. We were versing max 28 expertise players, and me having a 0 expertise setup, I was still slapping. So based off all the comments wanting to see a build video, I thought I'd quickly put together a video. And I've now finally got around to it. The build's a very simple one to piece together if you've got the gear and can put out some great damage even without expertise. Obviously, if you're expertising your gear, it's just going to improve the build even more. But this is showing that you don't need it if you don't have it. From time to time, I've been using this build in Conflict as well. Not a lot of people expect it. Remember, in Conflict, it levels the playing field a little bit. SHD watch and all expertise is removed. You can get pretty flexible and creative depending how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. Like I said, I was an alt character and I went very basic, but super effective. But before we get into the build, welcome back to all you amazing subscribers. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. If everyone can take a second to engage with the video, a like, a share, a comment, it's all going to help with the magic and the wizardry of the YouTube algorithm. We'll set a 200 like goal in this video. Reaching that goal would be absolutely amazing. Remember, if you did want to support myself and the channel just a little bit further, we also have channel memberships. Click the join button below to see all the perks. And if you want to catch me live in action, jump on over, drop a follow on Twitch. All the links for all my other socials are in the description below. Righto champions, let's get stuck in and check out this build. So here it is, my St. Elmo's Negotiators build. We're rocking 5 reds, 1 blue, no skill tiers. We're using 4 pieces of Negotiators Dilemma, 1 Fenris, and the Coyote's Mask. As you can see, that St. Elmo's is expertise free. Like I mentioned before, this is a very basic setup and very flexible depending what way you want to go. Because I was in a team, I thought Coyote's Mask was a good option.
Nice.
But you can definitely swap out the backpack, the chest talents, drop on some Grupo, or even run the Fox's Knees. The St. Elmo's is my primary weapon here, but you can swap that too. A Lexington's a true beamer, you've got the FAMAS for burst damage, or even the FAL for chunking some serious armor. Or swap weapon types completely and go LMGs and use the Pestilence. This is truly a flexible and customizable setup. For our specialization, I've gone with Firewall. That armor kit is just too strong in PvP on pretty much any build. For the primary weapon, we're rocking the St. Elmo's Engine. No expertise, but we do have max stats, AR, health damage, and Detox. Detox is the best in-slot option on basically any gun. When looking at the talent, we want to look at the PvP one. Shooting an enemy with this weapon gives you 1 stack. At 100 stacks, the next magazine will refill 50% with shock ammo. Is this cheesy? Yes, it is, but it is fantastic. I love it. As I mentioned before, if you don't want to use the St. Elmo's, you don't have to. The Lexington, if you've got it, is great. FAMAS, FAL, any of those ARs will do. For our secondary and our pistol, I didn't even swap them off a previous build. I've got a Stoner LMG with Sadist and a TDI card pistol with InSync. I don't use them. For the gear on the build, we're using the Coyote's Mask. This has max everything on it: weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and we've got a crit hit damage mod. The talent pack Instincts is fantastic solo and in a team. You and all your allies get bonuses based off the distance of the last enemy you hit. Between 0 and 15 meters, everyone gets 25% crit damage. Between 15 and 25 meters, everyone's getting 10% crit chance and crit damage. And greater than 25 meters, everyone gets 25% crit hit chance. Most of the time we're playing that close to mid-range, so we're getting 25% crit damage or 10 and 10. For our chest piece, because I had it on my character at the time, we've gone with one piece of Fenris for 10% AR damage. We've got max armor, crit chance, crit damage, and another crit damage mod. The talent that I've gone for here for a bit of survivability is Unbreakable. When your armor's depleted, it repairs 50% of your armor back, 60-second cooldown. Other chest talents that you could use on this setup, you could use Obliterate, Glass Cannon, anything. For me, I like that little touch of survivability, so Unbreakable it is. Righto, now that we're getting into Negotiator's Dilemma, first up is our holster. Negotiators will give us 15% crit chance, 20% crit damage, and hostile negotiations. Critical hits mark an enemy for 20 seconds and can get up to 3 marks total. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies within 15 meters get 60% of that damage dealt. Whenever a marked enemy dies, gain 2% crit damage, stacking up to 20, or until combat ends. So that's another 40% crit hit damage. On this one, we have max weapon damage and max crit damage. For the knee pads, it's our second piece of Negotiators, weapon damage and crit damage. Gloves are also Negotiators, weapon damage and crit damage. And the last piece on the build is our backpack, which is Negotiator's Dilemma as well, weapon damage, crit damage, and a crit hit damage mod. Now the backpack's got a talent of its own called Critical Measures. It increases hostile negotiations damage from 60% to 112%. So hypothetically, we're shooting a target for 100k, rather than dealing 60k to another target, we're going to be dealing 112k.
I am the smartest man alive!
This, when fighting groups of players, does make a big difference. But like I mentioned before, this build is super flexible and interchangeable. You could swap this off and go with Vigilance. You'll want to know what else is flexible? Skills. I've gone with Decoy, and I've gone with the Seeker Mine. Both of these you can play around with and use what you prefer. Righto champions, it's now fine print time. Let's check out our stats. We are sitting at 52% crit chance and a huge 188% crit hit damage. I actually didn't realize it was going to be that high. That's pretty wild. We've also got that 10% damage to targets out of cover on our St. Elmo's, and if we're getting the kills with Negotiators, we can also gain another 40% crit hit damage. That takes us up very quickly to 228%. For our offensive stats, we have 85% all weapon damage and 40% AR damage. Remember, no expertise whatsoever. Zero, zip, nilch, none.
Zero. Zilch. Nada. Nothing.
If you do want to spec into expertise, these values will increase, and therefore your damage will increase too. And while we're here, I guess we'll look at our defensive stats. Yeah, we're pretty squish, we're under a mil, but remember we've got that little blanket of security with Unbreakable. So that's going to cover the build, champions. St. Elmo's Negotiators, 0 expertise PvP build. Just goes to show that the whole stacking of 28 expertise on everything doesn't really matter if you've got the right setup and some game smarts. This is a very easy build to put together and very flexible when it comes to customizing it to your preference. But most of all, it's a lot of bloody fun. So what do you reckon? Are you going to be a champion and have a crack at this build? What modifications would you make? Let me know down below. Thanks for tuning in, champions, and make sure that you show your support by smashing the like button on this video, and if you haven't yet, make sure that you subscribe. Everyone's support is always greatly appreciated. Remember to stay frosty, keep looting, keep shooting, and giving them hell. I hope to catch you all in the next one. I'm Plum out. Psst. Hey, you guys still there? Oh, okay, cool. Here's a bit of bonus DZ gameplay with Vigilance, straight from the editing room floor. It never really made the final cut of a previous build video, so enjoy, and I'll see you next time.